Today we have some super interesting topics. I know this is a little bit later than I usually do, but there was actually a court case being settled today, and I was really waiting to see what that outcome was going to be like between Epic and Apple. I will save that for the later portion of this video, as I want to talk about the console catastrophe first. And it's not just limited to consoles, and we'll be also talking about the Nvidia graphics card that came out recently and all their lovely trials and tribulations. So first off, thank you for joining me today, and let's hit it. So first, let's see. We can either tackle the Sony release or the Xbox release. Let's do Sony first, since I said it first, and that's how we're going to do it. So Sony had a very trying pre-order time for their PS5. Not only did a lot of stores get not a lot of consoles for the pre-order, like I know, for example, GameStop did not get a lot of actual like physical consoles, even like the digital versus the non-digital. And yeah, it happened just like you think. Everything crashed, be it Walmart, GameStop, the actual Sony website. Everything crashed, and this is why. So I actually heard from an inside source who works in retail in, like, I believe a GameStop. And so Walmart decided to release the pre-orders a day early than what Sony had initially planned. And that being said, though, Sony was being very discreet about their release dates. And there was kind of like a speculation win, and Walmart, a day early, opened their pre-orders. Now, what this means for everyone else is that they also had to open up pre-orders to be able to get that revenue and also to keep up, right? So Walmart crashed. The site crashed very quickly because, popular demand. Amazon, same thing. They crashed. And a bunch of other websites, like I mentioned earlier, GameStop and other game websites like that. People kept trying to add them to the cart. They were instantly unavailable. I think the top time for that was about 5 minutes. So, yeah, if you didn't get it in 5 minutes, too bad. Also, Amazon, through the number of pre-orders they had for the non-digital version, like the actual disk drive version, which seems to be the more popular choice, especially during pre-orders, I feel like, because if you are gung-ho about a system for pre-ordering, you're probably going to want the bigger one, right? You're going to want the best one because you were an AMP customer, you know what I mean? Like you were wanting to get the best early. So due to all these pre-orders, Amazon has sent out messages to the consumers that's saying that their PS5 delivery may even be delayed past the point if you even did do the pre-order. So if you did get the pre-order, your console might be shipped later than the expected date. So that is something to look out for. Also, botters. There are a whole slew of botters from this, like Sony, Microsoft, and Nvidia. People are trying to scalp these consoles and resell them at a higher price for people, that, didn't get a chance to pre-order them. The price markups are insane, and some people are even trying some shady stuff. And that will tie me into the Xbox. So Xbox has also had a slew of botters and missells. For example, if you, a lot of people got bamboozled trying to buy the Xbox Series X. What they ended up buying was the Xbox One X. There was a 747% increase of Xbox One X sales on Amazon and other retailer sites. This, I believe, is either a botting attempt to get people who aren't really paying too much attention and just see the X on the end, like, oh, this is it. This is the next big thing. And so they go to order it. Now, that being said, they could think also that this is a good time to pick up that console, but I have heard and read a bunch of disgruntled reviews and segments that people have posted about being basically bamboozled into what they are buying. Also, though, on their release for Xbox, They did do better on their PR and social media team, getting the information out on when pre-orders were going to be available. They kept the community updated all the way through, and it was very nice because we knew exactly when and like where it was going to be available. They would post on social media different regions and the time for those stores and the region. And I think that is a wonderful way to get people like to know when, and other retailers. So if someone messes up, like Walmart, if someone messes up, and then they can kind of point a finger and be like, hey, you kind of fucked up. You know what I mean? But that did not help. Although everyone was in sync and on time for the Xbox, the same thing happened where multiple websites crashed. People were not able to pre-order properly. And of course, the Xbox Series X, the bigger version, was sold out within the same amount of time, about 2 to 5 minutes on every retailer's website that was selling it. That's it's pretty fast. And again, they do have the lower version. The Series S is going to be the smaller version. But like I mentioned earlier, usually the hardcore pre-order fans are going to go for, they're hardcore dedicated to that console. So they're probably going to want the biggest one. And in a long-term sense, I feel like that's better. Because if you do pay less for the digital-only version, like let's say for Sony or something like that, right? Then you are stuck to that digital store. You can't like do like a discount, or let's say a retailer has a sale. You can't take advantage of that. And I feel like in the long run, not getting the digital-only versions will end up saving you money. And just I feel like the performance and capacity of those bigger and like more powerful systems are going to be more beneficial in the long run. But yeah, so multiple sites crashed. There are going to be, I know that I've seen from Sony, and I'm sure Microsoft as well, that there are going to be another wave of consoles released. So people that are looking to pre-order should be able to get that very soon. So keep your eyes out for that if you are a console person. Now, if you are a PC person, Nvidia, the 3080, what a card. That's power. It's also hella expensive. And this, like everything else I've mentioned, has crashed websites, become unavailable. And I believe that the 3080, if it's not the 3080, it's 3070, but I'm pretty confident it's 3080, has actually had a lot of crashing issues. They believe it to be a capacitor card issue from the factory manufacturing. So basically the chip itself is just not working with itself. And they are trying to fix that and give new chips and stuff to the people that have ordered those and have not had a chance to actually use them because they are crashing and unstable. So there you go. But soon we'll be getting the 3090 release. Now this thing is a freaking beast. If you just want your eyeballs to be burned in the most realistic sense possible, then go ahead. It's got a pretty price point on it. So if you are interested in that top-notch gaming of the next new gen stuff, definitely go check out Nvidia. They got some really cool stuff coming up. But yeah, so that's all the console trials and tribulations they've been facing. Hopefully that they can rally behind everything that has happened and straighten out their launches, straighten out their consoles, straighten out the cards, make the consumers happy. Because at the end of the day, that's what's important, especially to a company, is making the consumer happy. If the consumer's happy, we're going to buy more of your shit. It's just how it works. So, and like I said, new wave of stuff should be coming out soon. So more pre-order possibilities should be on the horizon here. Now, to the meat and potatoes and why we are late today. Epic versus Apple. This is a longest running court case now. Started, I believe, back in August. And this is how it started. So Fortnite was on the Apple Store and also the Microsoft Apple Store, or App Store, sorry, not Apple Store, App Store for Microsoft, or Google App Store, there it is. And what they did to break, so Epic did break TOS, terms of service, by doing what they did, and that was lowering the price to purchase V-Bucks, so the in-game currency for Fortnite. They lowered the price on their website, on the Epic Game Store, and not on Apple or the Google app. And this breaks TOS, and Apple sued. They sued, and so did Google. Now, they basically ironed it out with Google. They are settling it out of court with some sort of agreement. But Apple. This has sparked a long-running conflict. Here, and it's going to extend into next year. So this is what's happening. Apple refused to budge on their thing, and they sued. Epic countersued with basically calling Apple a monopoly and saying it breaks the antitrust law that we have had in place for about 100 or so years now, ever since the Standard Oil Company was a thing and they were monopolizing the railroad industry. So this is still a law we have in place. And how they're presenting their case, Epic to Apple, is that so Apple has completely removed Fortnite and any Epic Games application from their App Store. And what does this mean for Epic? They're losing about $27 million a month due to this. That's a chunk of fucking change. Even for a multi-million dollar, I think even billion-dollar company, that's a huge part of your player base. An entire operating system says no. You can't do this because you broke your terms of service. Now the real kicker is that Apple also owns the rights to Unreal Engine. What does this mean for developers? What does this mean for other people that also use Unreal? During the court case, this has been brought up, and it seems the judge is leaning towards the way of not including Unreal in the excludable things that other developers won't be able to get their hands on, which is really good, because imagine having a monopoly on an engine like that, but you are a developer and you have a game on their platform, but you can't update it because you don't own it and you have no rights to it. That would just lead to an extreme decline. Now, there has been propaganda put out by Epic accusing of the Apple company and their monopoly on their own app store, and how it wasn't a competitive pricing when they just removed them outright. And what it boiled down to today in this court case was it was something. So the judge is actually leaning on the side of Apple for this, because originally Epic Game Store did break their TOS with Apple. So it's kind of put your back up against the wall. That being said, they're still going guns a-blazing to try to stop the monopoly, which is Apple. Now, that being said, I feel like they do kind of have a lot of power in their in what they say and what they can do. A lot. If they can ban you because you don't want to meet any of their criteria, then they can, and there's nothing you can do about it. You lose a vast majority of your player base by going against Apple. Vast majority, because they are the sole owners of their operating system. Sounds like Monopoly to me. But unfortunately, the court case was not presented in that way because originally the infraction was on the side of Epic Game Store. So there it is. We will be seeing more on this court case. It's actually going to be going into July of next year. So there it is. We'll be waiting to see how this all shakes out. I do have a feeling that Apple's going to come out on top here just because of the legal red tape that unfortunately got broke through by Epic Game Store. I think they do have a good point, as I am not personally a fan of Apple myself. I think they have a lot of shady business practices and overprice and make you pay for basically simple life necessities that you would come with a computer or something like that, like having to buy a USB port. I'm not going to get on that whole tangent, but I really hope this case gets settled in some sort of meaningful way, because yeah, this could be huge for other developers as well, depending on how this turns out, how Unreal Engine is going to fit in this, and how just Epic responds in general. I really hope that there can be a middle ground and we don't have to go through some big fiasco to allow players to play the games they want. So there you go. There's some spicy news today. There's some spicy news. Legal news usually isn't fun, but we got some spice today. We got some spice. So I hope you guys enjoyed the console catastrophe, and hopefully that'll all be rectified shortly, and we can move on with our pre-orders, and everyone that wants a console can definitely snag one up. And best of luck to Epic and Apple. It's not easy going up against a tech giant that is Apple. They got some balls of steel, but let's see if they'll be crushed or not in this court case. Everyone, thank you so much for tuning in. I'll be back on Thursday, a little bit earlier on Thursday, but I appreciate you tuning in nonetheless. And if you want to check this out on YouTube later to rewatch a certain part, it will be up there. And I appreciate everyone's support, and I will see you guys on Thursday. Thank you so much. Oh, like, subscribe. Helps the algorithm. Love you guys.